Child, who laughing
Ghostface
at us?
Ghostface and found his way to the chat. Oh,
I mean, I done found his way to the chat. How he logging in before us? Like, this our account. You can't have this account,
he got
sir.
hacked. He
You
hacked
cannot.
us.
Oh, child, we did get hacked at one point, though. Yo, welcome to the Mo Diversity YouTube channel. We are back with a
What is up?
prequel. Like, we've been away for a minute, living life and, taking care of some things, but it's been an interesting, pretty cool month, and I'm kind of excited about it because, I've been standing this movie for months waiting, and we are finally have seen it and consumed it. So me and the good sis Avia are really gonna break it down. But first, Avia, how are you?
Oh, I'm great. Just living and
Yes,
just
ma'am.
ready to talk about it. Because I remember when Scream 5 came out, we all saw it,
Mm-hmm.
and then after you
Mm-hmm.
saw it, you're like, I'm ready for 6. Like, I can't wait for 6.
Like
And then
automatically, I was ready for 6. Like,
it's before 5 even finished. He was like, I'm ready. And
mhm.
like 6, it did an amazing job doing it. It did what it had to do. Like, it did what it was supposed to do. And I'm ready to get
Yeah,
into it.
yeah. I mean, I know a lot of fans of the franchise when 5 did come out, a lot of people were like, oh, well, they're taking a creative decision by changing it up. We got these new blood coming in and everything like that. And it's just not going to be the same without the originals, even though you had your 3 originals in 5. You had Dewey, you had Gail, and you had Sydney. They came and did what they needed to do. But I think what I like about Radio Silence is that they took a chance with giving us a new generation. I felt like 4 did that as well. But you still had the legacy characters really entwined into 4, and it
Mhm.
still tied into Sydney still. Where when you see 5, the legacy characters are there, but through affiliation. And that's
Mhm.
just my personal opinion that it's an affiliation because you have Sam, who is the daughter of Billy Loomis, who was the first Ghostface, who is Sydney's, ex-boyfriend, boyfriend, whatever you want to call it. But I also feel like what Radio Silence have done is they have navigated a way to tell these stories in the same, franchise with a new blood, and it still matters to the franchise. And I think they did a really good job with 5. Um, Honestly, I felt like 5 was still just, especially how we went back to Stu's house, and
Mhm.
everything like that. It still gave you
Mhm.
those feels of where I feel like Radio Silence did not take away from what Woodsboro is. I feel like to reboot the franchise, you have to start at home and then be able to branch off like they did with 6 and take the babies to New York. Get the babies out the country. Like, let them breathe,
Yes. Yes.
live. Let them live. Just like with the sequel of Scream 2.
Mhm.
They took Sydney from Woodsboro and took her to college. So I felt like Radio Silence know what they're doing. I'm sorry. I think they know what they're doing. And
They do.
I'm still power behind them, and I'm super proud of what they have accomplished with 5 and 6, and even more excited for whatever they do with 7.
Oh yeah. Because with 5, they pretty much kept the same type of tropes, but they reinvented them. Like,
Yes.
it was like, yeah, we're familiar. Sam, of course, is the Cindy role, the final girl's role, but Cindy never had a sibling. She always had friends or whatnot, but she had a sibling. And we're thinking at the beginning, with the homage to the first Scream when Tara's on the phone at home and she's talking to Ghostface.
Mm-hmm.
We're thinking Tara's gone. Like, we're
Right.
thinking, normally, the initial first kill. After that, we don't think about that person anymore, and
Right.
so be it. But then we find out that Sam is Tara's half sister, and then that gives Tara even more story to work with, and also Sam, because
Right.
Sam he stayed away from Tara for years.
Mhm.
They're distant. And then when she comes back to Woodsboro, we find out Sam's backstory, how she's incorporated in this whole Ghostface history because her dad was Ghostface. Billy.
Right.
He's Billy. So everyone's automatically assuming that she's crazy, just like her dad. And that goes into six. And so it's Sam trying to prove that she's not who people think she is. And Sydney
Right.
never had, well, she did, but it was in a different way. Sydney had to prove that she could
She was
survive
not the
Ghost.
victim, and she
Right.
was
That
a
she was
survivor.
right. That's what Sydney had to prove. But Sam has to prove like something much deeper than that. And
Mhm.
that's what I really appreciate about Sam and the fact that, she's like literally like she's protecting Tara like a mother would. And you
Mhm.
definitely see it in six. Because one thing that I appreciate about Sam is even if it annoyed Tara to death, like even though Tara was annoyed as shit with Sam for being overprotective, you can never say that Sam wasn't a good sister to her
Right.
when came back into her life. You cannot say that Sam was not there for her. And
I mean,
Tara at
even
the
she
end,
was trying when they was in the hospital. She was literally like trying with her, and it was just like, girl, like it was like Tara, like give her an opportunity, like
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So okay, whew. So this Scream is known for their first kills. They're known for their first 10 minutes, being the best kill scenes. Like the first one, of
right,
course, the iconic one with with Drew Barrymore, iconic. People reference it to this day, and this one no less. Like we get uh, a film teacher who's on the phone talking to Ghostface, pretty much talking about pretty much what Ghostface always does, talking about how film and critique of horror films has changed and how they haven't. And so he pretty much lures her into an alley and played by Samara Weaving, by the way, who is a scream queen. She's the new generation of scream queen. The girl can scream her ass off. And she is the
my
final girl
God.
the final girls in my book because Ready or Not. I love Ready or Not. Like,
Yeah, Ready or Not is a good one. If you haven't seen Ready or Not, check it out. Radio Silence did do that movie as well, so that was kind of cool to see her work with them again.
hmm and then we find out that the Ghostface who kill her are her film students because
Hmm.
they want to finish Richie's film. Like in the fifth one, Richie, who is Sam's boyfriend, in the fifth one, who turns into we find out that he's Ghostface at the end of five. So they're pretty much like Ghostface always does. They're creating a legacy for themselves through someone else,
Right.
and they kill her, and then they wind up being killed, and then we go into our core fours story where they're at a Halloween party, and I love this part when they're at the party. Mindy's with Anika, her girlfriend, just chilling on the couch. Chad is there. Tara is there. She dressed as a pirate. She's this guy, they call him Date Ray Dan. I think that's what his name was. I think that's what
I
Chad
was
called him.
like, wait a minute.
And Tara, Tara was drinking. He was like, "Hey, you want to come upstairs with me?" She's like, "Okay, okay." And Chad, he stops he stops them from going upstairs. And I was like, "Okay, that's the blooming of a." It was unexpected, but I was like, are they trying to put
Right.
these two together? Okay,
Now I was even in the trailers, it looked like they were a thing because she was by him every scene. It was like she was with him, and it just looked like they were trying to put them together. Which I ain't opposed to it, but it was kind of like, dang, okay, I see.
but they were like, I was like, I wasn't mad at it. I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. Well,
Hmm.
let's see if there goes. So, you know, uh, Sam being overprotective, big sister, pretty much gets on to Tara because Tara's not answering her phone because Tara's at the party, and Tara's like, "Leave me alone! Like, leave me alone! Like, stop crowding me!" And no, give
Right.
me my space. Like that's why we moved to New York. There's so many people here that you're here just all in my business. And because Sam's working 2 jobs, they live in apartment to live in apartment, so rent is high as hell in New York.
Right.
So she's struggling working just to make sure Tara's okay. And Tara just wants to live her own life. Like she wants to graduate, she wants to
Hmm.
quit her job, start a family, and anything what anybody would want. And
Right.
Sam's like, look, I'm gonna protect you whether you like it or not. So you might as well just
Right. You
I
might as
know
well
I
get
can
used to it.
right. Like I know I
I
can be
think what
overbearing.
I think what she
Okay.
was trying to do was basically trying to like not necessarily run from it, but she was trying to like block it,
Mhm.
use it as a way to escape everything that she's because it's traumatic for her. Because I mean, she almost died. She literally was stabbed multiple times in the first movie in the opening scene, and she literally survived. So I think it's one of those points where it's like you don't think it'll ever happen to you again, especially in a new city and
Mhm.
everything. But I mean, just look how the opening kills was with her with Laura, and then turn around and how it happened with Jason. Like it's a whole new domino effect now. So you are now once again a target. No matter how they wanted to look at it, I mean, they will always be targets. So I mean,
Mhm.
I felt bad because it's like Sam ain't doing nothing but trying to protect you and everything like that. But I also understand what Tara is going through as well. It's like I'm not gonna sit up here and live my life in fear. I'm just gonna keep moving. If it happens, it happens. But she had the mindset. Oh, and it's that moment of click. It's that moment of click when it happens when it happens again, and she
Mhm.
goes back into that shell. I was just like, this is what she was trying to protect you from. But
Right.
it's a scene where you can where she realizes that I'm back in the killer's trap. I'm back in his
Mhm.
web, and it's just it's sad. It's
It
sad
is, 'cause,
because my
like,
girl just want to live her life. That's it.
right, that's all she's trying. That's all Sam's trying to do. That's all Tara's trying. That's all what the core four are trying to do. Like that's it. And Ghostface is just coming and just messing up their day. And
Right.
you know, it's just crazy when you're talking about that shell moment. I think that moment. Well, I think it was when they were in the convenience store. When they were in the
Hmm.
when they were in the bodega and they were in there, and then
Right.
Ghostface comes in and starts shooting up the place trying to find him. I think that's when Tara realized, oh, we're in the shit again. Like this guy is not gonna leave us alone.
Right. Like
And
what it was. Well, I think what it was for me is even I have to say the opening scene and kill is like I hate to say it. I might have to watch it one more time. It might. It is number 2 right now for opening
mhm,
kills. It is number 2, and I saw a lot of people saying that it still doesn't compare to Scream 2's opening, which I do agree with that because it was out in the public and everything like this. But what I liked about this is that one, we've never seen Ghostface revealed, like you've never seen it be this reveal and everything like that. And then 2, go straight into it, and then it's that whole shit blindsided me. I was shook, like and 3 people were dead already. Like 3 people was already dead. The teacher and the 2 students. And the fact that
yep,
how Ghostface was communicating, I feel like this is the most he's ever taught. Or, like this is the most that Ghostface has
yeah,
ever communicated with his victims. So I like I said, I really feel like this is number 2 for me, far as kill scenes, like opening scenes. It's number 2.
uh-huh,
It's hands down, hands down. Well, speaking of new characters and new blood,
yes,
how did we feel about our 4 people that are now in the midst of our core 4? We can just go to continue to call them core 4, but we had Annika,
mhm,
Danny, and then we got Quinn and Ethan, and I just felt like it was kind of refreshing to see new faces because that
mhm,
was one of my biggest things. Was like, okay, you're gonna move to New York, but it's just gonna be them. Like, how are you gonna intertwine other people into it? How are you going to make them be victims as well and be a part of this whole Ghostface, fiasco? But I think they did well with the new blood. I think the new blood did. I think each person brought a lot of personality. I think they all. Oh, is
Look
that
who
a
it
special
is! Look who
guest?
it is! What
Hello.
up?
You
Hello.
took a break from your vacation,
You did?
I did.
Ah,
girl. Why you ain't go help them out? You just want to sit at home with them twins. I get it though. Sit at home with them twins. Like,
look,
don't
No,
even
live your
involve
life,
yourself.
Sydney. Live your
Like,
life. Like Gail said, she deserves a happy ending. Let it have it. Let Sydney have a
period.
happy.
I
I mean,
deserve
since
it.
we on the subject, how do you feel about leaving, being left alone and out of the drama of this movie? How did you feel? Like, talk
Well,
to
I
us.
felt like I deserved more money to start with. We can go there. But
Period. Period.
also,
I didn't want
oh,
to bring that conversation up today. Like, I really, because I think we all see different people. And I don't want to.
the
We
odd
can
one
say
is
that for the
using.
ranking episode. Like, I
I
don't
see.
want to talk about it yet.
I see the odd one is using Aaron's background. Period. On period. Okay. I mean, yeah, it was cute. It was a nice little wrap up. I mean, this is obviously the end of Sydney's story and the beginning of our two new final girls, basically.
Mm-hmm. And
Double. It's like
what?
literally they are double final girls. Like, it makes no
And I
sense
love
like that we
it.
have two final girls.
Because like
Iconic.
because you get Gail and you get Sydney, and
Hmm.
Right.
there's a love hate relationship between those two, but this one you get like that sisterly love. Like it's different because they're sisters, and you want both of them
Exactly.
to. And
Right.
he said, speaking of new blood, they did such a good job making the audience question who was Ghostface. Because
Yes.
it could be any of these people. Like it could be any of them. But there was one thing, and
Like,
I'm gonna go to my DMs, y'all, because when I was watching it,
the way she was hitting me up while we was watching while she was watching that movie, and I was sitting there like, because I saw opening night at 5:30. Like, I saw the first showing in my AMC, and I was like, I couldn't talk about it because all I could say was like, oh my god, y'all, this is a hot mess, but it's a good hot mess. Like, ugh.
so when I said, okay, I was like, it's the roommate and her dad, the cop, isn't it? Exclamation question mark, exclamation point. Because she said she lost an older brother. I was like, oh, Richie, that's her. Oh, that could be her older brother. That was going through my mind, and then I said, child. And then I have a gift eating popcorn. Like I'm over here like, and I said the subway station scene is amazing, and then all caps like
Yes.
amazing.
Like,
And
I
then
literally, when she was messaging me, I was like, I knew the feels. Like, honestly, I need everybody to watch it, especially if you are a fan. If you're not a fan, please, even if go watch 5 and then watch this one, because something just really clicks. It
Hmm.
like clicks in this movie that it's not the original cast, and they can like survive without them. Like, that's all I'm gonna say.
and then y'all, these are hilarious. And I was like, not Mindy. I was crying
Whew.
emoji. And I said, and he said, girl. I was like, if it's Kirby, I swear. He's like, and then I said, I fucking knew it. That crazy ass family. And then I
Yep.
said, crazy as fuck. And I said, they had me worried about the twins for a minute. And I said, man, I was stressed. They fucked Chad up. I said, fuck all the way up. I swear. I thought it was dead.
Yo, like, they did not have to do my boy like that. Like, I was like, okay, that's a little overkill. Like, that was a little too much for me, because they was like, and then it's like they was taking turns. Like, they literally
Right.
was taking turns stabbing him, and I was like, are y'all serious? But it was like that. It's that first time seeing it. It's like we've never seen anything like that. Like, it was two ghosts. It was two ghost faces in front of us killing somebody. Like, that was wild.
And like the way they shot it made you look like it was a sacrifice play. Like Chad was
Hmm.
going to
Mm.
die. How they set it up. Like damn, he's gone. One of them got to go. I guess it got to be Chad. One of them got to go. Okay, it can't be Mindy because Randy died in the original trilogy, so you can't have the movie buff die again if you want to switch things up. And But when I saw that he was getting carted away to the end, I was like, yes, my twin.
Period.
They brought Mindy up
It
too.
was
I'm like, that boy scene. Woo, that was shot so. That's probably my favorite scene in the whole movie. How they shot it, because like they're all in this crowded subway. Ghostface is there, but he's like all the way at the end of the car.
Mm-hmm.
He's just turning, looking at it, just like, oh shit, and then the lights go out. He's right up to her and just stabs her. And he's like, no.
that subway scene was everything, but I'm sorry. When they established who they were in the core four, and Ghostface sent them that picture of
Quinn.
Quinn, and I was like, he's in the house, like
Right.
he's in the apartment, like in the apartment, like for real, like he's in the apartment, and y'all just gonna sit there, like for real. But that was like very intense for me because it was like Mindy said, run, because he's in here with us and we're sitting here waiting on him to come out. Like, run, like we got to go, like pack it up, let's go, like we got to go. But that whole apartment scene was very great just because it shows you what you can do, how little you can move, what you can do in an apartment complex. It's not open. There's no open space. There's no woods. There's no nothing running around in the house. It was literally run from one room to the other, to the stairwell, to another room, and try to get out a ladder and try to go across.
And when Danny had that ladder, like, look at Danny coming in quick. All right, Danny, I see you.
Child, when Danny had that ladder, I was like, he's Ghostface. Like, no,
I thought so too. Yes.
I'm telling you, the 1 minute I said Ghost, the 1 minute the time I was like, no, she Quinn's Ghostface. Like, of course, when she said, my older brother died, and how she said it, I don't trust her. I don't trust her.
It's giving Mrs. Loomis.
Definitely. And
right.
then,
Yes, she definitely had those type of qualities.
I'm like, hold up. She died first. Okay, if she died first, that gives her time, or the other Ghostface time, to make up a story how she died and fake her death. And what happened? When I tell you, I called that shit. As soon as I saw it, when I DM Michael, I called it. I called that shit.
But it was like, but the way they crafted it, it was perfect. Because I mean, granted, even though Mindy said what she said in her monologue, when we go into this shit, we are not in a trilogy. We are not in a Rico. We are now in a franchise. Shit is, the stakes are higher now. You have to do some twisted shit like that. That's some cycle. Turn it on, everybody that's watching. Turn it on. Like, seriously, like Mindy was right.
Like, my mind clicked. I was like, because like they played a wild card that I did not expect. Okay, that's smart. That one I did not see coming. It was the other brother.
Right.
The little brother. It was the little brother. He was in college with him. And I would like, even though Mindy is like, all y'all could be Ghostface. Like, don't trust.
It's the way Mindy knew.
Like
she knew. Like, that's the like she fucking knew, and I was just like, even when I'm listening to her monologue, I'm like, okay, Mindy, that's facts, but still. Y'all already knew what my theory was, and I didn't want my theory to be what it was. And I said it was twins, and I ain't even gonna hold you. I said these twins, they done took these twins up there, and these twins, they got sick and tired of their ass. And, they gonna take them down. End the curse for once and all. If you end the curse, it won't be no more Ghostface. So they was gonna end them. But I honestly and truly, even watching it, I still thought it was the cult because everybody was thinking about the cult theory and everything like that. I still thought it was a cult. I still believe there might be a cult going like later if there is a 7. But yeah, I really still thought it was a cult. Especially, I mean, it kind of was type like a little bit of a cult because you had you had the guy at the beginning who was Ghostface, but turned around and got killed. So it kind of was like a premature cult running around, but the way that they crafted this family to be as psychological crazy as they were, to fix the room shit and do all this and everything, it was a wild card, like you said, for them to try. And I think that's what makes Radio Silence good at what they do, because they're gonna attempt to try something. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I think it's about how is crafted through shooting it and the people that you choose as actors to play those roles. I'm sorry, I still didn't think Quinn was Quinn until the end of the movie when Quinn said she was who she was. Like, I did not think when Quinn was dead, I said, "Damn, that's fucked up. Quinn is dead because Quinn was pretty." Like, I was like, "God damn, like the girl gone." Like, she's no more Ginger, Jean Grey. Dang, like.
But I never trust her. I'm gonna be honest. I never, because how they wrote her, it was like she was just there. Like she
Right.
didn't really have like a edge to her. So I'm like, that's why Anika was gone second,
She was
because
a whore.
she was just all she was there for is to be Mindy's girlfriend. That was it. So it's like, yeah, Anika, okay, there's not really much to her either.
So it was following the first movie.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, everybody around him got killed.
Because Quinn was Billy.
Yep. Yep.
The way she
And her
just
brother
there,
was
just like
Stu.
Billy was there.
And her little brother was Stu, and then their dad was
daddy was Mrs. Loomis.
Yep.
Well, like you said, we've been saying, it does parallel with. I mean, Scream 5 does parallel with 1 because you go back to your roots. I do think 2. I mean, I do think 6 parallels with 7 because it takes them out of their comfort zone and puts them in New York. They're in school and everything. You put them in this whole environment, and then you have the Billy Loomis, Mrs. Loomis's mom. That whole persona is running around with his family.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we can't forget about one person. Oh, go ahead. What'd you say?
No, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
No, I would go.
As you were going to legacy characters, that's what I was going to go into. So if that was that was.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, well, since we
there's only one that matters. There's only one that matters.
Here we go.
If you want to do this, we really can do this.
Yeah.
He wants to tell
Let's do it. Okay, we'll save Gail for after. Let's go and talk about Miss Kirby.
Oh, you want to save Gail?
Beautiful gals. Yes. Like, they had my girl looking crazy. You're not about to bring my girl back and have me sitting up here thinking she goes.
I mean, like, what else is Gail gonna do?
Gail, look, I ain't even gonna hold you. I was like, girl, you deserve that.
I was like, oh, hell no. I swear, I thought
you were going to die too.
But she played it so, like, how they did it. It was like, you know, she was talking, Ghostface and her were talking on the phone. You know, he was talking, and she's like, okay, I'm done. It was like, hold for a second. So she hung up. He's like, what? And then she called him back. Like, that never happens. Like, no one calls Ghostface. Ghostface always calls you. You never call him. So when his phone started ringing and she was able to, you know, aim her gun where the phone was coming from, I was like, that's smart. No one's ever done that in the history of Scream.
It was like she used her. She turned it on. Like, I mean, Gail has always had that brain on for every movie that she was in. But I like her actually having a full-fledged encounter with Ghostface finally. I felt like this one felt like something.
You know, Kirby is
what?
Kirby absolutely would have done the same thing if she was in the situation, and she probably wouldn't be as rough as Gail.
I think Kirby, everyone's trying. I know earlier in the chat we said Kirby was like the new Gail, but I think Kirby's the new Dewey because they need some kind of.
Maybe she's both.
I'm giving her a little bit too much for my liking, and it's like,
okay, why you hating on Kirby? Why you hating on Kirby?
I think I really think what it is that I'm not hating. I just.
Give her flowers.
She get her flower. The only time she gets her flower is the scene with Mindy.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Detective Bailey, like, he really had the whole audience convinced that.
I was like, get the bitch.
I mean, he did. He got me. I said, Mike in the chat. No, not Kirby. Not it can't be Kirby. Not Kirby. I said, in the chat.
Lock her up.
Thought you were ready to lock her
in the head.
He called him. He was like, "There's no. She hasn't been in the FBI for months. And like, she has psychic evaluation. She's crazy." I'm like, "Oh God, please don't let it be Kirby. She's been through so much with Ghostface. Why would she be Ghostface? It makes no sense." That's why I'm like, hold up. Why would Kirby be Ghostface? Why would she? I mean, the only reason why she would is to really just try to put an end to everything. But wouldn't that just start everything up again?
Oh, that actually would be a good sequel. Maybe
Like,
not from Kirby, but somebody else.
because I'm like, even though she would have killed Sam and Tara, there would still be, like you say, if they went with the Ghostface cult idea, there would still be Ghostface cultists out there who would murder in the name of Ghostface. So killing Sam and Tara wouldn't have done anything except for just in that one particular storyline.
And there's the metaphor for a franchise. Mm.
Period.
Mm.
I mean,
Mm.
I don't dislike Kirby. I guess I was just like, you resurrected her. She's back.
Can I say who I didn't like?
Oh,
It's really controversial.
Spit it
I don't
out.
know if I
oh, let me get a video ready. Hold on.
Oh my god.
Go ahead.
Who you got?
It's very, very, very controversial.
Say it.
I didn't like Tara.
Well, how about that?
Spill these.
Okay.
Why not?
I didn't like her. I didn't like her until it clicked.
Yeah,
When it clicked, that's when I started liking her because I was like, girl, don't forget where you came from.
Exactly.
She tried too hard.
Like, do not forget where you came from.
Hard to be rebellious.
Right.
And it was coming off very snobbish. Like, I don't like that on Tara. Like, don't like, and I get why they did it. Because that was one of my biggest things that I wanted to know was what was going to be their relationship was in this movie. Because in 5, you have this estranged relationship with them, and they're trying to mend while still being attacked. Now you move them away. What is the relationship going to be like? And it was literally, I was like, okay, they're fighting. Granted, which honestly, you could have made them fight the whole movie and had them both being attacked by both ghost faces from different perspectives. And then brought them in the middle to have that more of a what's the word I'm looking for? Oh God, the development of the relationship. Because I feel like if you would have had them both in separate spots in New York being attacked by them both, but then you would have had to replace the two people. But it would have made them have some type of bigger meaning. But when it clicked for her, that's when I was like, okay, humble yourself. Because you know better. You did not have to talk to Sam like that. I don't care.
Exactly.
Like you did not have Sam didn't deserve that. She doesn't have to be here. She doesn't have to protect you.
Well, let's go into that what we were talking about, what I put in the chat earlier today about how when Sam and Tara were talking about how people were hating on Sam, how that was a metaphor for how everyone was treating Melissa after 5.
And I like Sam.
And I do. Sam is mother. Sam is
she really is. No, like she really is.
That man for Phil talking shit about Richie. I was like, okay, that's mother. That's mother right there.
Period. And if you notice,
call him a man baby.
Period. And if you notice, Sam and Tara are like both reflections of what Sydney was between, in the whole franchise. Because like Sam is a more seasoned version of Sydney, while Tara is like Sydney from the first movie.
Ooh, good.
Because
I pay attention.
It makes sense because think about it. When Gail comes back up and Sam tries to clock Gail, but Gail dodges it. She was like, we've been through this already. And then Tara just comes like, pow, not trying shit.
I was like, period. I said, period, Tara. Let her ass have it. Hit her one more time.
Hit it again.
Hit it again. Hit it for me.
Let me move.
Hit her again for me. No, because I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Gail, but I feel like you disrespected them when you wrote that book. You said you wasn't gonna do it. And the fact that you had a moment with them in the last movie because you lost Dewey, and y'all all went through something in the same house that you all went through something in the first movie in 1996, and you gotta slap them in the face and write about it again. Like, why? And then you call this girl mentally unstable or whatever you called her, like a natural born killer. Like, come on, that's fucked up. Like, come on, Gail, you deserve that punch. I'm sorry.
She did.
She did.
And one thing that you said, Mike, a natural born killer, like when they go into Ghostface's lair, and see all the memorabilia. I was like, this is cool. Like to show the
that was a cool
history
scene.
of the franchise in general. Like since it was created in 1996, like Scream has. There's very few horror franchises that last as long as Scream did.
Yeah.
That's how long Scream has. And just seeing the history behind it and Sam understanding where she's come from, even though she doesn't like it, just being like, whoa, like there's some deep history here. And you know, when she's when like all the different kinds of ghost faces and how each ghost face wore a different mask from each killer. I thought that was cool. And how they did it. I thought they did it in order of anti-chronological, I guess.
I thought that was brilliant by having each killer's mask, like, because that just lets us get closer to the shrine and everything. Like I said, I think Radio Silence did a good job by crafting a new way to have a ghost face in a new setting. I think a lot of people were still in the franchise that are fans was like, well, what's gonna happen? How are they gonna be able to? But I think they did a really great job by continuing the legacy of Ghostface and shaking us to our core. Before we depart from legacy characters, we have to talk about our main man, Mr. Billy Loomis. His scenes talking to his beloved daughter was everything to me. It was the most encouraging her and still trying to, because he was basically telling like, girl, no shade, you not a killer, but you're gonna have to kill to survive. Like, it's in your blood. You're gonna have to kill to survive. Like, and I felt bad because it's like, I know she doesn't want to have to do that again, but it's like, girl, kill or be killed. Like, and it sucks for your. Yeah, like it sucks for her because of who her dad is, but you gotta survive, honey. You got people that you gotta survive and you gotta help you and your sister and your friends at the end of the day.
Period. And I think that's why she did it, because she knew, even though after the pep talk, you know, when she's looking at Billy's Ghostface costume and he talks to her, she's like, I'm not like you. But then she has to I still gotta protect Tara. That's why she does it. Billy did it because he's just crazy. No, psycho dude. He did it just to do it. But she did it to protect. And I like that anti-hero-ness about Sam. Like, she's not perfect. Like, she's not your typical final girl, because she has a dark legacy too. And it's something that's always interested me about Sam, and the fact that Tara understands that. Because Tara never really held that against her, ever.
Right.
And when everyone else did, like when they were walking down the street and the girl was talking shit and Sam was trying to fight her and everybody was holding her back, like they could let Sam beat her ass. Like
they could have.
They could let Sam beat her, but they're like, no, show them that's not who you are. Show them you're not crazy. Like everyone thinks do it.
It was about breaking generational curses.
Exactly.
Hey, Jesus!
And the fact that she, even though she had the Ghostface mask on when she killed him, it was still like, it's not me.
It was perfection. Oh my God.
Like, yeah, that was, oh my God.
That'll be the only time we'll get to see that. And I think they did it perfectly because, okay, we're going into the next. Kills. And we're going to fuse it with the plot twist or not, because, child, that whole third act was a hot mess, but a good hot mess. Like, golly. Like, the fact that they get in this place and it's a shrine and everything, and then you think they're getting locked up because Kirby done locked them in, but then as we get to Chad getting stabbed up, like that shit shook me up. I ain't even gonna hold you. Like,
that man got gutted.
Like
No,
that
I'll
man
tell you
got
what shit
gutted.
gutted. Like they,
Like
I
ugh.
was
Like, what
But
do you gain from that?
I was about to make a tweet RIP chat. I was like, no.
child, I was like, damn, that's crazy because it's like you didn't know the fate of either one of the twins.
Right.
But going into this middle, getting in there, Chad down, get in there and everything, and you think it's all peachy, and then here you got Kirby saying, "Stay away from them." Man, Detective Bailey said, "Girl, if you don't get out my goddamn face, boo, now shut her down." I said, "Oh, that's when my mom went crazy because I was like, shit, this is a hot mess." Because it's Detective Bailey revealing himself, and then you got Ethan revealing himself, and I'm just like, okay, so Mindy was right, bad bitch Mindy was right, but who is
When
this
they
other
As
said
per
girl?
Mindy,
usual.
because I think someone, it was either Tara or Sam said Mindy, and then it was like, nope, it was Twin. It's like I fucking knew it. And I was
The
like,
shit was crazy because that lady was dead.
and it made sense because he could have covered that up.
Right.
Cover her death up. So
Easily.
Like
and,
easily, like he said, easily.
And at the end, when Tara's fighting Quinn, and then Ethan's goading her, like Tara's Sam's fighting her. Tara falls, and Sam tries to catch her, and Ethan's goading her like, oh, he's goading her, and Tara's like, let me go. Then Sam hands her the knife. Tara jumps down, puts the knife in Ethan's throat.
I was like, yeah. I was
It's
like,
the way
yes,
I'm watching it right now.
huh?
It's the way I'm watching that scene right now.
It's the way when the knife went in and she twisted it, but when she pulled it out, it felt like a killer was born. And I was like, it's the way when the blood splat on her, it felt like, I don't know if it was like a rebirth effect for her, but I felt like that girl was born again because of the way it hit her face, and she just was like, it was like this exhale of relax, but she survived once again, and it wasn't like it was the last. I mean, she did get stabbed this time, but it wasn't as bad as it was.
Right.
And then, I mean, Sam just shot damn Quinn in the head.
Right. Like, I want to say something.
Boom.
I don't want to give it away because I don't want this to be taken in Scream 7 because this will be an interesting idea if they went this way. If they decided to go the opposite way, if Tara becomes a natural born killer, then having to talk her off the ledge. Like,
I can actually see that.
Like Jenna would be great. Like I feel like she would play that. But I don't know if that's
what everybody's been wanting. They want Stu to be resurrected, but it's like you can't resurrect him. Like, I'm sorry, like let that man, like I said in my tweet, the man did his job in the original movie. He did what he was supposed to do. He killed people. He made it. He did what he was supposed to do. Let that man rest. If you really want to shake the table, have it where Sue has a long lost sister, goes back to the house and be like, what the fuck happened to my house? This is my Airbnb. No shade.
Yeah.
Find out about this shit. Find out why she don't have no family and stuff like that. This long legacy. If you want to do it like that, have Stu's sister down trying to kill the damn sisters. Sisters versus sister. Because it does look like it's gonna go into this female, role of Ghostface. I mean, if you look at when Sam put that costume on and was Ghostface for them couple of minutes, it was a metaphor for something that's coming. I don't care what nobody like. It was a metaphor. Like, I don't know if the next Ghostface is gonna be a full female or what. But godly, when she put that mask on, it was Ghostface, and she put a Pappas mask on. Like, God,
I think it's gonna be Sam's mom.
I was like, golly. Like, girl, let the man breathe.
Oh, she really is. Oh my god, yeah, she's stabbing the
Like, if
fuck out this
Sam was
man,
Ghostface, she would be a brutal ass Ghostface.
Yep.
just like her daddy.
Yep.
I mean, just like a damn daddy.
No, it's got to be her mom in the next one. It's got to be
Whose mom's?
Sam's
Sam
mom.
and Tara's mom.
Yeah, it's got to. She got to be the killer in the next one.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense because it's like we don't know what she's mentally and physically going through because we haven't seen her. We just been know that
Yeah,
like Tara said, she was away in London or wherever she was, so we don't
she's the
know. But it would,
anti-Sydney.
it would be it would be a perfect anti-Sydney, their mom, because I mean, she did date Billy Loomis as well. Sydney took everything away from her,
Oh,
her
I forgot
family,
she
her man.
stabbed that man in the eye. Jesus,
Huh?
I forgot about that. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah, like
Damn,
that
Sam.
child. Sam, if you want to be Ghostface, it's okay with me.
Okay, and you know, now that I'm saying that, since they're in the shrine with the, with the footage in the background, that's once again like Scream 2 when they were in the theater.
Yep.
Yeah, like this is definitely I think it's gonna continue to parallel, especially if Radio Silence is trying to follow the trilogy stages of this movie. It will make perfect sense to just go ahead and follow 3, where it's a long lost family member. I mean, it was Roman.
Yeah.
So I mean, you might as well, and then she can
Oh,
basically
somebody's
like,
gonna adapt Gail's
okay,
book as a TV show.
Ooh, on streaming, I would love that and talk about how
Yeah.
spooky is the game, especially when it comes to horror. I love
Yeah.
Look,
it.
let me go ahead and cross this out.
My only thing is, like, everyone's expecting Sam to be Ghostface. That's why I'm like, she keeps
Right.
Yeah,
I'm like,
she won't be.
yeah, I don't want her to be. I'm like,
He's too good of a character.
different types of Ghostface where, like, either we don't see it coming or like she has no choice.
Right.
Because she's
too good.
She's too good of a final girl to be.
Mm-hmm.
You know who they should model her after though? Klaus from the originals. I think that's who
Okay.
I think that should be the person that they should, like, her anti-heroism, like her tragic hero type. That's somebody that they should like model Tara's journey after.
Since we theorizing, this will be my last one. And we're gonna wrap this up we're gonna wrap this up and put a pin in it for part 2, aka the rankings. But this will be my last theory until we get news and everything when we find out who Cassis is for 7. Don't be surprised that Danny is the killer.
Gasp.
I can see that. Like, it could be like him being the nice guy, it could be a foil to him being the murderer next time.
Exactly, because he could have been in on the shit anyway. Like, literally, he could have been in on it. Unless, like I said, it could be like this whole Sam might get a happy ending in 7, but I don't trust like Mindy said, don't trust the love interest.
Right. Oh yeah, good for it. And Mindy was right about everything. So
right,
like,
was right about everything.
Like, don't trust him because I mean, granted, I don't think he would, but it could be a possibility that if we going into 7 and if we're gonna parallel 3, whose long lost family are you?
Yeah.
Like, why were you so abrupt to like get in, like, because we don't know their relationship, we just know they was hooking up. Like, how did you even know them? Like, how?
Oh, he was sleeping with Sam's mama.
Yeah.
There it is. There it is.
There
you go. Oh, that's a good plot.
But I'm ready for 7. I'm ready
and
for 7.
And they could break up because Sam's mom's like, look, I have a teenage daughter to look after. This is too much. He gets jealous and he gets upset and then he tries to find them. Okay. Let's see where that goes.
Dang, that's a good plot.
I'm just saying, I mean, it's so many different ways that they can do 7. They have, I mean, But I mean, I do feel like I think they know what they're gonna do, especially after I've been watching the interviews of them talking and everything like that. Radio Silence know what they want to do. I do need Radio Silence to actually commit to filming in the fall, get it out, because I feel like Radio Silence is what. I love my Stranger Things team over there. I want them to do Fantastic Four, and I want them to do some more multiverse. I want them to have their own little superheroes. I love them. But that's where I put Radio Silence at. I feel like they are independent enough to create and do this world building thing. And I feel like once they wrap up their Scream trilogy, if it is a trilogy, and I think it will be a trilogy, because 4 wasn't even supposed to be 4. So I think they might harness on just keeping it a trilogy and we be done with Scream, which I would love. I would love to have another series like they did. I think the series was I enjoyed the series of UTP, but I do think Radio Silence will be able to harness on their trilogy, if it is a trilogy, and be able to wrap it up, make it good, have us a little hoorah, boom, 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 and everything. Because I really would love to see them do more. Like I said, everybody need to watch Ready or Not if you have not seen it.
Yes.
That is a good movie. But I am rooting for Radio Silence. I think they are doing a great job with the Scream franchise right now. And I really do hope they get to make 7.
Period.
I think that will just how successful 6, 5, and 6
Let's
were.
not talk about success, because people gonna be mad, because I'm gonna say, all right, let's keep it cute, because let's look at 6 numbers. 6 is doing better, but let's not talk about that.
Yeah, see, I mean, the box office don't lie.
Yeah,
It's not lying. It's not lying. I'm sorry to all my Sydney fans. I love Sydney too, but girl, my new blood is eating right now. They are eating.
I think that's what this new generation of horror watchers are understanding. It's like the tone of horror is shifting.
Yes.
Final girls, let the final girls rest. Let the old final girls rest, and let the new final girls, because there's tons of them. Tons of them. Let the new final girls rule. Why did they do Halloween Kills to go ahead and get Laurie out of there?
Yeah, God, yes.
And with Cindy being gone, with Cindy being gone, Gail, we don't know what's going on with Gail, but her pretty much out of the picture now, unless they bring her in, because they're gonna do this whole idea of her being a producer on the show or something. But all I know is if they're gonna keep her in 7, her death better be glorious. It's gonna be one of the best Scream has ever done.
Well, I will say, with her being an executive producer, I think she will be able to keep some type of the legacy in there. But I want us to put a pin in it, because we do have one person who has not actually seen it and hasn't had an opportunity to express his thoughts and everything. So I would like to say this will be a continuation, and then in part 2 of our Scream, whatever you want to call this run of us talking about 7, so he can have a chance to talk about it. I would like us to rank. And I also want to bring up the topic, because I keep seeing it's been thrown out into the horror Twitterverse. Elevated horror. I want to talk about it, because I think what some people think elevated horror is not what I think elevated horror is. I think a lot of people think elevated horror is a bad thing, and it's not. It's just basically, for me, it's saying that they step it up a little bit, what the word elevated means. It takes it to another level, far as technology, far as acting and things like that. I don't think there's nothing wrong with elevated horror. So I ain't gonna lie, I thought this was an elevated slasher.
Period.
Look, the first
Scream 3
one
is still on the bottom, by the way.
The first Scream started it all. That is elevated. The first one was elevated horror. No.
It's elevated horror has always been around. I think elevated horror just talks about the technology of what is being used. For me, just me personally, y'all be trying to make these little thing pieces. I'll be like, child, it's okay, enjoy
Not
it.
hard, Twitter.
It's all right. Have y'all seen Ant-Man yet?
Yes.
I told Aaron when Ant-Man first came out, I said,
Mhm.
I guarantee I'll see Screen 7. I mean, I'll see Screen 6 before I see Ant-Man. Kang, I'm
And look at God. Look at that.
and look at God. Nah, but anybody got any closing remarks? Because we are done.
The bodega scene was probably the best scene to me because it actually was.
Because it showed the urgency.
Yeah,
Like the
Yes.
place
that was rough.
showed the what you could do with timing,
Mhm.
Yes.
but the bodega scene really showed the thrill. It showed
Yeah.
fast pacedness. Like it showed, like it gave you pretty much all not all genres, but like 3 major genres in one. Like you get horror
Yeah.
with Ghostface, you get thriller because they're running around the bodega like trying to
Mhm.
out. You have drama because like they're like literally like in tears because Ghostface is in the tension. Like Ghostface is after them again. Like that's like their first encounter with him in about a year, and they're like, oh shit, he's after us. Oh no, oh no, and it really set the tone of the rest of the movie because it was like fast paced, boom, 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 boom. Like
Right.
it never let up, and that's what I loved about it. Like the whole pacing of the movie was just like, yeah, I love that.
It's still going to be the apartment for me.
Yeah, that was a good one too.
And it kept
He
your
sent in
attention.
the picture and said, I'm in the
Yeah.
apartment. What you want to do? He flipped the mask and said, what's up? Like he said, what's up? Y'all wanna rumble? Y'all wanna tumble a little bit? Y'all wanna not taste you a bit real quick?
Let's tussle. Let's tussle.
Let's tussle a little bit. Overall, the movie was good. Like, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
it did what it needed to
it
do
was.
as far as a sequel to 5. I think it did what it needed to do. I've been very biased and very
Oh, you don't say.
naive. I've been very naive, and I'm still gonna give it a 9.5 out of 10. Just because it is for me.
I mean, yeah.
It did what it needed to do. I even told y'all that night I saw it, I said 8.5 because I didn't want to be messy. I wasn't trying to be messy. I swear I wasn't. I was shook when I left that theater. Like,
No, you ain't wrong.
I give it a
oh,
9.
and stay for the post credit.
Yes.
I give it a 9.
Look,
I give it a 9. Like it kept my attention, like through the whole movie. Like sometimes I'm just like, okay, but I was just so caught up in who the killer was. Because normally they'll tell you I don't message when I watch movies. I'll tell them that I'm watching them, but I don't really message when I'm watching the movies. But this one, I was like, okay, I gotta talk to somebody about it because I need answers like right now. So I was just so into it. And as a viewer, that's what you want. You want to be enthralled in the story to the very end,
right.
and that's what you want your audience to be as well. So, like I said, Radio Silence, that's what they were doing, and it worked. They took a gamble, and it worked.
It's working. Make sure you pre-order and buy it, rent it.
Yes.
Give these guys their money, give these actors a chance to like really complete the story because they did a good job. Like
they really did. Like that. That's what. Yeah, I'm with Avia. It gets a 9 from me. Like it was one of the best. It's one of the best modern horror films. One of the best modern slashers. That's how you reinvent the slasher. I'm gonna say that. Yeah, let's say that.
yeah, we don't get that many slashers, so I think for it to be still relevant to this day and this age of what we're actually consuming as streaming movies, like everything, like it still is holding its own as a franchise.
Scream 3 still on the bottom. Bye.
I'm like, I'm so ready for the rankings because I mean, when I say rankings, we ranking killers, we're ranking them franchise, we're ranking characters, we're ranking everything. Like the rankings episode is gonna be everything because you know what, MD is back in a new era. So get ready. This is just a prequel. This is just a prequel.
Let's get it.
This was just a prequel, and we are out of here.